Hey there, I'm Daniel Bakh, co-founder and CEO of Fullview. Today we're doing a special episode of our CX Talk series because we're joined by Anoushka Vaswani from Lightspeed Venture Partners, who just led the seed round in Fullview. I'm really excited for this episode because Anoushka has many years experience investing in B2B software, and we're going to get into all kinds of interesting things. Anoushka, thanks so much for joining us today at our Copenhagen office, flying all the way from San Francisco to be with us. Anoushka, why don't you tell us a little bit more about, you've invested in a lot of B2B software companies. What are some of the most important trends you see right now in SaaS?
Yeah, thank you so much, first of all, for having me. I think two of the most interesting trends we're seeing in SaaS right now, one has been going on for a really long time. It's kind of the consumerization of SaaS. And the other is a little bit around distributed and remote work. And so on the consumerization of SaaS, it's been interesting. This has been a trend for the past 10 years where the people that have been buying software have shifted. So no longer is it a centralized IT team buying software solutions. Instead, it's kind of individual decision makers, knowledge workers at companies, independent teams, picking, what tool is the best for him or her day to day in the workplace. The second has been a trend, I would say, that's, been evolving over the last 2 to 3 years, really through COVID, where no longer is the consumer, sitting in an office, going in every day. A lot of people are just logging in from their laptops and using kind of different software solutions. And so the way kind of software solutions need to be constructed to meet a pretty distributed remote workforce, whether on the buyer side or on the provider side, has really shifted. And I think, the next generation of software companies will really need to nail that experience on both ends.
And going off of that, so you're a very focused investor as a partner at Lightspeed yourself, and you only do a very select few number of investments per year, right? What do you look for when you are looking to make a new investment in a SaaS company?
I think, ultimately ventures are people-driven business. And so the biggest thing we look for is team and people you're going to be working with, hungry, ambitious founders that kind of have an unfair advantage to win their market and really, really understand their space. I think the second thing is we're really a student of various markets, and we like to deeply study a space before making an investment. And then I think the third thing we really care about is product, and a product offering that really resonates with customers, that has pull, that people kind of really rave about. I think those are the three things we care about most at the early stage.
And speaking of which, customer support has gone from being seen as kind of a cost center in a lot of businesses to being seen as a really, really great potential growth driver, right? How does customer support fit into these trends you just talked about in the SaaS markets?
A lot of organizations are recognizing that customer support isn't just this cost center, but can be a really, really powerful revenue generating center if done well. And so the most forward-thinking companies we see, and I think it's broadly catching on to the broader industry, have been talking about CX and, teams around that and what your CX strategy is. Because if done well, you can both service your customer as well as potentially use it as an opportunity to upsell or really delight your customer.
Yeah.
That's a really important trend we're seeing. I think the second trend, that's pretty important that we're seeing is around distributed and remote work, where, more so than ever, individual consumers are buying products online, and that's happening across every industry. And they're looking for easy, seamless, self-serve experiences where issues are resolved automatically, and that bar for what support looks like and what an incredible experience looks like keeps getting raised.
Another thing that, going off what you just said here, I think that another important trend is also the fact that customer support tools shouldn't just be a duct tape solution to your product, because often if there is an issue in your product that has caused a customer to reach out to you, you shouldn't just use your chat or your Zoom call or whatever tool you're using, hopefully Fullview, right? But whatever tool you're using, nonetheless, you shouldn't use it just as a duct tape to say, let's just quickly manually help this customer out, right? But you should actually use it to improve your product over time.
Totally.
Yeah.
And especially in this era of product-led growth and a lot of customers preferring to kind of sign up and start using tooling on their own, having visibility into what your users are doing in your application, where they're getting stuck, what the issues are, and really listening to your customer is more important than ever.
Yeah, and use that data you learn in your support sessions to actually improve your product over time.
Absolutely.
Right? And then basically another question I had, which is also now we just closed this great funding round with you leading and with the Lightspeed team, which we're super excited about to partner with you. But basically, what was it that you saw? And you met Dorian and I and our team, young people from halfway across the world from where you guys are based in Silicon Valley. What made you bet on us?
I mean, it was interesting. Prior to meeting you at Fullview, I'd spent the last 3 years with the broader Lightspeed team looking at the support landscape, from service desks to remote management solutions to call center solutions. And what you both had built was an incredibly special product. And we heard this echoed in a number of customer calls we did, which is really intuitive, easy to use, less than 5-minute implementation. And so when we hear this type of feedback on a particular company, I think that's the first thing that really made us take note. And then we got a chance to walk through the Fullview demo with you and see it live and see how seamless it was, both to start using, to onboard, for an agent and a customer to immediately communicate. I think was pretty special.
An easily implemented solution that's also very easy to use, that actually does all of these things in one. That's kind of like the key.
Yeah, that's an incredible value proposition.
Where do you see Fullview, or where do you hope Fullview to be in, let's say, 10 years from now?
I think that, the goal here is to build a generational company.
For sure.
And so one thing, we've only been working together for a couple of months now, but the speed at which the team constantly has iterated, launched new product, adapted the offering to your customers has been pretty remarkable, and it's really unique. And so hopefully in 10 years we'll be reflecting on this conversation. Maybe different spot, different couch, but I think this is going to be a really exciting long journey. Yeah.
I'm excited to watch this back in many years from now and reflect. But great. So thanks so much for joining us. I think this was a really great conversation, Anoushka. Thanks so much for your time. Anything you want to close off with? Anything you want to plug?
No, it's, if for folks that haven't tried the product thus far, you can kind of go onto Fullview's website, sign up, and really, really excited to be here and to do this.
Thanks so much for watching this special episode of CX Talks with Fullview and Lightspeed's Anoushka Vaswani. We're really excited to be partnering with Lightspeed for the seed round and working with them for many years to come. If you want to learn more about Fullview, you can go over to fullview.io and also reach out to me directly at daniel@fullview.io. Take care.